Another day, another leak, only this time it's even funnier and even worse, and the circumstances regarding it are even worse. Okay, so we talked about Hogwarts Legacy rumors and leaks, I believe like a week or 2 weeks ago, and it seems like 'tis the season, even though Christmas is over, 'tis the season to be leaked, okay? And as I've said before, and by the way, I'm Alex from Podcast Now, in case anybody's never heard of me, we talked about a lot of Hogwarts leaks in the past, and we've talked about leaks and rumors for many games, many movies in the past, and one of the things I always do say is, number one, take things with a grain of salt. Number two, there tends to be, I guess, opportunities or like time periods where people feel the need to go online and then just say stuff about the game, okay? But like literally anything that they want to say about the game. And this one, we're going to go over everything that they said, because what I do think, and I've said this before for these leaks, what's fun about them is, although they are blatantly not true, this one is even worse than the first one, okay? There's no way this leak is true. In fact, it was taken off of the Reddit thread for being like highly, like I guess they really thought it could be fake. So and it was thought so highly of that they took it down. Okay, so we're gonna go over it, but I think it's important to talk about these things. One, for the message that you got to be careful what you're reading online, and number two, we can still discuss what was talked about, right? What was in these leaks, and see, well, maybe they could end up happening, but this person was just doing guesswork. So I've rambled long enough. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on if you like this kind of stuff, and obviously I do this whenever this stuff pops up. Wario, thank you again for sending me this stuff. If you guys ever see things on Hogwarts Legacy, make sure to send it to me. I'll be sure to shout you out and make a video on it. And lastly, if you guys want to join our Discord server, I know a lot of people maybe are new. We do have a Discord server. Link for it is in the description below. We would love to have you. All right, now here's the deal. I don't know how this is going to appear on screen. You know, I normally post the visual of the leak as I'm reading it. It's very blurry. I'm going to read it on my phone because it's a lot more clear on my phone. So I guess just bear with me. If you guys can't see it, I'll probably notice that while I'm editing it, and I'll swap it out with something else. Okay, disclaimer, take everything with a grain of salt. I love it. This is what the person posted. Disclaimer, take everything with a grain of salt. Stuff may still change from now till release. A friend of mine worked at Avalanche. They shared a few infos with me. This will include story spoilers, but I'll mark them accordingly. All right, I mean, at least it wasn't his brother's uncle's sister, okay? So that's a good sign. Number one, the character creation is similar to Cyberpunk. You'll be able to select presets and change colors of stuff like hair and eyes. You can later equip different kinds of uniforms and clothing. So you can also customize and equip different brooms. Wands are not customizable, and you are stuck with the one from the beginning. They wanted to look into letting you change your wand at will, though. Diagon Alley is not playable. A cutscene plays showing you entering the wand store, and then you can select a wand. There's tons of different types, but they are purely cosmetic. After selecting your wand, it will skip to the carriage ride to Hogwarts scene that was shown in the trailer. The house selection is similar. A cutscene plays, and then the sorting hat will say you are conflicted and hard to figure out. You select the house, and that's it. Classes work similar to Bully, except not really. You get some classes during main and side quests. Outside of missions, you have a timetable that you can look at to figure out which class is taking place. You won't get any negatives if you skip class, though. Attending classes helps you level certain spells, skills, or potions. Unlike normal RPGs, your character doesn't have a level for himself. Each spell has its own power level. To stop you from doing just one spell, the enemies learn to adapt, so you can't just spam the spell all the time. Combat is similar to God of War. You can block spells with small time windows, roll as evasive attacks, use various weapons. You don't have a mana bar per se. Each spell has a super small delay before you can use it again after putting it into a combo. Some enemies are weaker against a certain spell, and some enemies can also block and reflect spells. You can temporarily tame beasts to fight with you or ride them. Hogwarts is huge. You can interact with lots of stuff. Talk to almost any student. Students are randomly generated. However, if you build a reputation with them, dislike or like, they stay permanent. Free roam outside of Hogwarts is available after unlocking Hogsmeade via main quest. Quidditch is playable and has 2 positions. You can chase the snitch, which will play like any older Quidditch game. However, you aren't stuck to a linear path. You have to fly fully yourself. The other lets you play as the whole team from almost a top view. Think of something like FIFA Quidditch. It's not too much in depth. Now, this is story spoiler, so hold on to your hats, everybody. The reason you are a late bloomer is because your power literally exploded, something like Credence. The game doesn't go into detail on how it happened. Seems like the developers want you to imagine your background yourself, but during that explosion, your soul split into Horcruxes. This is also the explanation in-game why you respawn when you get killed in a fight. Throughout the game, you can make decisions which will affect your good or bad side, something like Mass Effect. However, there is only 2 endings. You destroy a certain book or artifact or something. Otherwise, you will tell a friend you met in the story to keep it safe. A little fun fact, in the release trailer, if you replace Ancient Power, Special Bond with Horcrux or similar, you'll see that it makes more sense what the narrative is telling. Spoilers end. Last fact, Avalanche originally wanted to make the game more mature, similar to in art to the Middle Earth games. Warner Bros. Was worried that it might turn off buyers, so they decided to turn down the violence a tiny bit. The game got a bit more colorful and cartoony, but is still dark, especially in the later parts. All right, that's a lot. We're already, approaching us later in the video, so let me just say a couple of quick things. Number one, this person has to watch my videos, right? I know I say that every time. I know that maybe makes me sound cocky. I know I may get hate from that. Eventually, even if I don't get it now, I don't care. It's still kind of funny. We've talked about almost every single aspect of this leak. Again, the difference between someone like me and someone like them is I'm not telling you that I'm right. I'm not telling you that I know these things from the game. So, as I said with the first one, look, some of the stuff in this leak does sound accurate, but it's mainly based around the trailer, because they use the trailer a lot to help them through this leak. In fact, they reference it like 3 times, and then they don't reference it, but they talk about gameplay aspects that directly, you can see it in the leaked gameplay. Remember, we looked at the leaked gameplay a few months ago to look at, okay, how does the magic work, how do the enemies work, stuff like that. It seems like all the stuff that this person is coming up with came straight from that. So again, not surprising. I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't go if like Diagon Alley isn't playable. I wouldn't be surprised if certain things they said in this game happens or doesn't happen. Okay, the classes thing. I mean, yeah, I think we'll be able to choose whether we go or not go into certain classes, and I'm sure some will be mandatory because you have to tell a main story or side quest. The randomly generated AI is an interesting one that I'm not a big fan of whatsoever, and it doesn't actually. So everybody's randomly generated. Your people won't be the same as mine, but then when you make a big enough impact on them, they become, but so if you don't talk to them, they will just continue to filter and you'll never see the same person again. And then when you do talk to them, suddenly they become a fully realized person. I don't think that's possible. I really don't. I think from literally think about it from a development standpoint. If you're making the game, you're gonna make an infinite. What does that sound like, by the way? Watch Dogs. What didn't work very well? That in Watch Dogs. The idea of making anybody super detailed, everybody actually, where some of them are just gonna flat out be thrown out because, again, like he said, if you don't talk to them enough or you don't make a connection with them, they're just gone. And then when you do, suddenly they're just fully developed characters. You can only have so much of that. Developers only have so much time. They only have so much resources. They can't make every single character super in depth. So I hope that doesn't happen. I think that's just super fake anyway, but I hope that doesn't happen simply for the fact that, and I do want to talk about that, by the way. People have asked me to talk about the students and talks that we can have with them, so I will do that in the future. But I want everybody to have unique friends. My friends aren't the same as your friends, but at the same time, I mean, think about it. How likely is that? Not likely. I mean, even you look at Mass Effect, we all love certain characters in Mass Effect, and we all have our own relationship with them. And again, what makes it so special? Well, some of us experienced the same things with them. Some of us didn't. Some of us didn't. Some of us didn't do certain things with different people. So it is possible to pull it off, even with a small cast. Even if you have a maximum of 15 different friends, and that's it. That's anybody who plays this game can only have 15 friends. I think you can still pull it off, where we feel connected to them, where maybe my experience with them is slightly different than yours. I think you can still figure that out. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they know the ending. Destroying a book, the Horcrux thing, I know a lot of people were making fun of the Horcrux thing from what I saw. That is quite something. Is that the connection? So see, another thing, and I have said this before. I don't think I said it with Harry Potter or Hogwarts Legacy, but let me say it now so you guys know. One of the things that I've noticed I've been covering leaks and rumors pretty often. I think I'm getting pretty good at it for around almost 2 years. Okay, now I talked about the Hogwarts Legacy stuff back then as well, but very consistently for 2 years. And what you find when you do it so often is when you have one set of leaks and then you have another set of leaks, what oftentimes happens is that next set takes a lot from the first set and adds on to it to make it look like they know what they're talking about. So what I think happened is this person saw, not necessarily the video, my video, but they saw that leak from like 2 weeks ago, okay? They saw the connects to Fantastic Beasts 3 part, and they came up with credence. They came up with the explosion, okay? And that's what happens. I mean, it happens with Spider-Man. It happens all the time in the industry with fake stuff. Now, it happens with real stuff too, but you notice it with fake stuff where they'll throw in a couple things of their own to make it sound unique, and they'll kind of expand upon things that were already talked about in the last couple leaks. And that's exactly what we have here. So as always, it's fun. It's really, really fun. And again, some of these things I do think is going to happen, but the difference is, and I've said this before, when you predict 12 different things and you get, and not predicting, sorry, like I predict, I theorize, I speculate. When you tell people that these 12, and I don't know if there's even 12, but you tell people these 12 things are going to happen, and then 2 happen, that's not good. That's a pretty bad average. You know what I mean? So that, and again, because that's the whole thing. Well, some people, if you guys can believe it or not, think that I come up with these leaks, which is hilarious, and I've said that before as well. I don't. And secondly, also you'll have people say, stuff about me, but it's like I just speculate. I just talk. I'm literally sitting here at a desk. I'm just talking. And I'm having a blast. And we've talked about things that may happen, may very well not happen, but we're just having a discussion. We're just speculating. These people are telling us that this is what's happening because their brother's sister, which it doesn't actually make sense, but that their close relative that's not actually that close, they have an they're a janitor at Avalanche, and they saw written on the wall these 12 bullet points, okay? And that's what these people have claimed to have done, and good for them, okay? Let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? Do you think some things could be real? Let me know. As always, again, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on so you know all these videos go up. Again, if you guys want to join our Discord server, the link for that is in the description below. I do have a blast making these videos. I mean, it's no surprise. These videos do better for me than other things, right? These videos do higher views. I don't do them because of that. I don't milk it because of that. I don't milk anything, actually, but I don't milk it, for that reason or anything like that. I have a blast. I really, really do. So we'll keep our eyes open. If there's anything more like this, I'll definitely make videos. And until we get actual news on this game, we'll just keep speculating. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you all on the next video.